Mark Griffiths is a founder of the WMA Consultancy Services. With decades of experience delivering operational estates and facilities services, Mark also leads an independent industry expert panel of judges for the IFMA Impact Awards. Mark spoke to us about his passion for robust data management in FM and his recent industry report produced in partnership with Matt Tucker from WMA's independent academic partners at Connective Thought. Please introduce yourself and tell us about your career in FM.
Mark Griffiths, I am the founder of WMA Consultancy. That's just a trendy title, apparently. That's what you have to call yourself when you start a business. We've been established now for 5.5 years. Always worked in engineering and FM operations. We do cover both FM and workplace in what we do now. But my career has always been as an operator. I was an operations director at Bouygues Energies and Services. Before that, Skanska, and as I unflatteringly say, in the last century, also worked for Interserve in those heady days of the 90s when things were, very different to what they are now. But yeah, always an FM operator, always worked at the last 20 odd years, a fairly senior level in organisations and delivering service to a wide range of clients.
Tell us about your recent work exploring the role of data in FM.
Yeah, so we've recently commissioned a report on the importance of data in FM, which has been received with a lot of interest by a lot of organisations. We partnered with an academic, Matt Tucker, who's originally based at Liverpool John Moores University. He's also Director of Research for IFMA, and Matt undertook the hard work. This was just something I had a bit of a bee in my bonnet about data being discussed in the industry quite widely. My perception at the time was that perhaps lots of people are talking the talk, not necessarily walking it, and we wanted to see what the industry genuinely wanted to, was looking to get towards with the use of data and how widely it's used at the moment and what the future could look like. The industry as a whole needs to really capture robustly what's happening with data and information and technology, and really set the agenda moving forward. It's all a bit piecemeal at the moment. And our report really does highlight the need for all elements of the industry to get together to do this. Clients, providers, membership organisations, industry bodies. I cast my mind back to when I was an operations director. If I was still doing that role now, I'd be looking around wanting to get my staff trained to a level 3, level 4, level 5, perhaps in data management and data handling. There's so much data that's there now. FMs and workplace professionals in the future, those practitioners are really going to have to understand what the good quality data is, what the not so good data is, and kind of cream that off so that they can get a really good level of understanding of where they're going and drive those efficiencies and improvements that are naturally expected in the framework that you've got to operate in.
What insights have you gained from the report?
So what we're seeing as a result of that report is lots of organisations wanting to understand what a data-driven future might look like and how they can get to that point. The best visual we use for that at the moment is a maturity index. We show it as a roadmap going from kind of level 1 through to level 4. And just because you're at level 1 doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means that's right for the organisation you're either working with or for, and how that's served. And a bit like sustainability, I think there's a parallel there for sustainability in FM and how different organisations strive to achieve different levels. And we're seeing lots of people with an interest in how they can take it forward in practical terms and how they can really drive this forward. And that, I think it's endemic of the sector at the moment. There's a lot of interest in data and technology. There's lots of AI and everything else being discussed, but the root of all of this, I think everyone accepts, who's touching it in any way, is that data is the key.
How does WMA Consultancy Services stay ahead of trends in the FM sector?
I think for us, we're fortunate. We've got a couple of different avenues that we can tap into some of those trends and how they're developing, and also referencing some of the established ways of good practice. So I sit on 2 British standards committees related to FM and the built environment. One relates to service life planning, some people call it life cycle, and the other is around the 41,000 ISO standards of FM delivery. That, along with our industry experiences, we work with a wide range of clients from people like TPI Kappa, a very large stockbroking organisation, GWI, a tech company down in Farringdon that I've not far left from this morning, through to a lot of NHS trusts and helping them manage some of their challenges, both for the new hospitals programme in the recent past, and something we're doing routinely is assistance with some of their PFI schemes that have some difficulties as well. But we also do that with the lenders on PFI schemes and the FM service providers. So we have a very balanced, collaborative attitude to what's going on and how solutions can be arrived at, rather than people hitting each other over the head with big contractual sticks, which is not good for anybody. It just wastes a lot of time and generates a lot of money for lawyers who do a great job, but I'm sure we could equally add some more value there to help people deliver good value for whatever the outputs are in those respective contracts, whether it's having an enhanced working environment in an office block in the City of London, through to an NHS trust delivering good quality care for their patients.
What does the future hold for WMA Consultancy Services?
For us as a whole, in terms of future trends and direction of travel, we're probably going to be moving towards a more kind of data-driven outcome, given some of the findings of our reports, as well as still being that critical friend, I think is the way we describe it to our customers in terms of where things are and where they could be in the future. But we see, for us, we're going to be focusing very much on having a data repository arrangement with a lot of clients in the future, not to own their data, host it for them where they want to, they can host it themselves, but giving them that structure and that framework that helps them deliver good workplaces and good facilities management services. And ultimately, when you're doing all of this, the key thing for us is getting people to understand that whatever form they do it in, they're doing it to deliver good customer service, which is sometimes overlooked. You can have lots of good engineers and everything else, and say I'm a good engineer, but I'm originally an engineer by training, but very much focused on doing those things well. And if you articulate that in a good manner, that's going to deliver good quality service, and people are going to appreciate that. And also, as for clients, getting them to articulate clearly what they want at the beginning of the process and be open to adapting and changing that as time goes on. We've learned these last 5 or 6 years in the workplace that things move very quickly now at a much bigger pace than they've ever done. And with the advances in tech and how we get hold of lots of the data that's out there, we think that that's the way that we can really add value moving forward with all of this.